Hey guys, my name is Gachet. I've been tattooing here in Sonoma County for the past 25 years.
Start tattooing, and what inspired you to pick up the tattoo machine for the first time?
Well, growing up as a kid, I was always doodling and drawing. So obviously, I ended up going to a friend's house, and his dad had just gotten out of prison, and they were in the living room, smoking, drinking, and they were tattooing with a homemade machine. So when they left the area to go outside, my curiosity got the best of me. I walked into the kitchen and I inspected the mechanism that they had made to tattoo each other, and I went home and built one. I was 13 years old when I did that, and I was in my 20s. I worked regular jobs, and I was unhappy, so I decided I wanted to tattoo and got myself an apprenticeship.
When did you open the shop?
So this shop, Eternal Art, was opened in 2008. This was after I had tattooed in previous shops in Sonoma County working for other people, and it was winter, and it was just hard to get into a good established shop in those days, because it was a low percentage of you being able to get in as an outsider, even though you've worked in shops. It's just, there's a lot of criteria back in those days. Nowadays, there's shops everywhere, there's amazing artists. But yeah, I decided to open up the shop just so I have my own safe haven, and did it my way. And so 2008, April, is when the doors opened for this place.
What challenges did you overcome opening the tattoo shop?
So the beginning, I would say, were the hardest years. The first four years of having that shop were the toughest, because I had a big bill now. I had an overhead, lights, electricity, not to mention I had to pay rent, make ends meet. And at that time, I'd opened my shop. I didn't have kids yet. We were trying to have kids. So that was a little bit of a helpful thing, is not having a full-time. It was just me and my wife. But the challenges were just paying the bills. I was in that shop by myself. It was 1,200 square feet that I was paying for, and I was the only artist, so I was working 7 days a week. It being my first shop, it was a big learning curve for me. All the upgrades, everything to get it ready to open for inspection, and everything was super stressful. And I worked for about a year just getting that shop ready before I could open the door. So for almost a year, I was painting, doing floors, getting sinks in there. And meanwhile, I was trying to make money to be able to pay the rent while the shop was completely dismantled. So that was probably the biggest challenge, is just startup. And then the next 4 years were just playing catch up and trying to build that bird's nest to have a little cushion of money all over again. So I would say that was the hardest part.
What connection have you had with art, and what kind of made you want to get into art more?
Yeah, it's a great question. So my family grew up very artistic. We have a huge artistic background. Our last name, of course, is Gachet. And if everybody knows who Vincent van Gogh is, he painted the famous Dr. Gachet painting, and that's part of my lineage. So that kind of painting and talk about art has always been in our family. My cousins, they're very talented artists. They're professional artists. And my uncle was a very talented oil painter. If we're not painting, we have musicians in our family, people playing the guitar. My cousin Carla is in her own art form. She's a photographer for National Geographic and does stuff for them, and newspaper articles. So we just have that artistic mentality in our family. My brother's a tattoo artist in LA. So we've grown up with the arts always around us, and it's been a big push in our family, especially in the Gachet family. So for me, tattooing was just another way to express my art form, and be able to make a living at it. You guys always tell me, it's like, man, you didn't sweat that, but and honestly, I sweat every tattoo that I do. Don't get it twisted. It's you're working on people, so it's hard. But yeah, as far as your question goes, my styles have changed dramatically. When I first started tattooing in a tattoo shop, it was flash. It was stuff on the wall, and people would come in and pick stuff off the wall. So you were just doing a bunch of flash, and honestly, that prepared me for the next stages in life, because I was constantly just tattooing and not having to work on artwork, and I wasn't worried about getting into a shop and just getting a tattoo that you're picking off the wall. It was very rare for people to come in and want custom stuff, you know. It wasn't until later that people started actually asking for custom artwork and making it their own and telling their own stories. So my style has evolved. You know, I went from flash tattoos, and I was doing color, I was doing black and gray, I was doing whip shading and all that stuff. And then it was later in my years, and I want to say it was about like 10 years ago that I started to develop a style. I think when the tattoo industry started to change, I've leaned more towards the black and gray, and I really enjoy realism. I love doing portraits. I love doing animals. That's probably one of my favorite things. Flowers are super fun. That's definitely always been one of my favorite things since the beginning of my career. I've loved to do flowers. But yeah, man, it's just black and gray realism. That's where like I really like strive to perfect. But the art aspect of it, that's something that someone's got to learn on their own, and kind of like they got to progress that. You can only go as far as you want to go, and as much work as you put into this is how you're going to get out of it, you know. So I definitely would say that drawing is the best thing that you can do, and just draw a ton, and then get yourself an apprenticeship and learn from someone that you feel is good at what they do, and go from there, you know. And thank you for blessing me with my tattoo. You did my logo on me, cool. And it turned out really, really good, man. And I'm super proud of you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Hell yeah. And why it's important to get an apprenticeship. First of all, it's a tradition. It's a history. You're part of a lineage, you know. As you know, my mentor had a mentor that had a mentor that had a mentor. And back in the day, that's the only way you can get the tattoo. And we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have the internet. You can only learn from another person. So there's that. There's the history of it, which is huge, you know. But other than that, is like you're working on people. There's dangers, you know. There's bloodborne pathogens. There's diseases. There's infection. So the sterile part of it is another thing that you learn in a tattoo shop, is how to keep everything clean and neat. I feel like you don't get that when you learn on YouTube. Most people don't think about the sterile part of tattooing because they're just so gung-ho on putting ink in somebody. Other than that, I mean, you're cutting the skin open, you know, you can scar people, and you're putting something on them for life. I don't think that I would be able to like watch a YouTube video and be like, yeah, man, I got this. Like, I can tattoo you. I mean, you'll tattoo, but it's gonna look like shit, and that's on them forever. So apprenticeships are important, man, because there's guidelines that you go through. And not only that, but just being in a shop with other artists elevates your game, because whether you realize it or not, you're watching them tattoo, and you're watching what they do with their hands, their motions, and you pick that up, and it makes you a better tattooer a lot faster than you would become on your own. And just the fact that you can ask questions and pick someone's brain about what they're doing, and what needles they're using, what machine, what voltage, you know. Yeah, so apprenticeships are super important in my opinion. I still think that everybody should do one just to learn the basics, you know. There's a lingo to this shit, and yeah, I mean, we're an underground world. Well, we used to be the 1% of the world. Now it's blown up and it's grown, and everybody's trying to be a tattoo artist or is a tattoo artist. But I think that the apprenticeships are important to keep our history and to learn the right way. I mean, improvement-wise, I feel like I'm still learning every day. As long as I've been doing it, man, it's one of the most humbling things I've ever done in my life. Like it says, like, we have our good and bad days, but you can't really have a bad day in tattooing, man, because that's on people for the rest of their lives. So always improving my artwork, you know, making it better. It's for me, I came from a world where tattooing wasn't as technical as it is now. And now, man, these kids that are tattooing, you know, they've got college degrees in art and are amazing artists, and they're mind-blowing artists. And just trying to keep up with that has been like itself a challenge, you know what I mean? Because the art's changed so much. But I would say improvement-wise, that would be it. It's just keep learning, man. I feel like the day that I say that I've have nothing more to learn, it's probably the day that I'll put the machines down. And hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon. Yeah, man. When I retire from tattooing, I'll probably be concentrating on other things. But I mean, right now I'm just enjoying building up bikes. Like, we got my friend Marcus's bike in my garage right now. I call it my shop. You know, it's on the lift, and then I recently tackled the wiring on it, and it's intimidating, but I feel like I'm learning quite a bit. You know, I would like to get into tuning motorcycles. Probably be my next venture. You know, that I make t-shirts right now. I have clients and stuff that I do for small base stuff, not huge projects, but I learned to screen print, which now you know how to screen print.
Well, this concludes the podcast for CH Tattoos.